Okay, to get started with our IQ tester, we're first going to open up SOLIDWORKS 2020, select part, then select OK, just like I did. This is the screen you'll see within the first couple minutes of opening up the application. Only just takes a couple minutes to load. Next, we want to make sure that our units are in inches. So let's go to our settings wheel up above, up top, and we're going to click on it, and then we're going to go from system options to document properties. From there we'll select units, and then we want to make sure up top we're selected on IPS inch sound second. Alright, once we're there, that means we're in inches. We can select OK, and then we can continue on with our drawing. After that, we're going to the top left hand corner, selecting features, then selecting extruded boss base above. You'll see these three planes. We'll select the front plane, which then you'll see these two red arrows appear. We'll then go to sketch, which is to the right hand side of features. We'll then select our corner rectangle, go to the origin, click and drag out. So now we got our square, which is roughly what our IQ tester will look like. We'll then dimension out our width and height. So then we're going to Smart Dimension. I'm going to click each corner, and then I'm going to click a third time. That'll prompt me to what measurement do I want it. I want this at 5 inches. We already have our settings set at inches. So we're going 5 inches and then 5 inches as well for our height. So our two corners, third click out, 5, and then enter. So when I'm drawing this out, I do have a technical drawing out in front of me, which I'll prompt throughout. After that, we're going to features, extruded boss base. We're going to click on this arrow and then drag it back. Okay, important to drag back and not ahead. This will show us our depth of our IQ tester. So to the left, you'll see the blue highlighted numbers. We're going to click on those and then type in 0.75. So 0.75 inches is what our depth is. Hit enter and then confirm it with the green check mark. I'm going to zoom to fit with that magnifying glass, and this is what our IQ tester is going to look like. Right now we're in isometric view, so we're going to switch our view to front view. Now we're going to cut out our holes for our IQ tester. So we're going to go to sketch. We'll click sketch in the top left corner, click on the face we want to sketch on, and then grab our circle. We'll roughly draw where we want to place our circle. Just click and drag, and then click one more time. Then we'll go to the left hand side where our blue highlighted numbers are, and we'll type out our radius. Our radius is 0.125. Once we do that, we'll hit enter, and then that'll be our exact measurement for our circle. After that, we want to dimension where this circle should be positioned. So we're going to go back to Smart Dimension, click on the left hand side first, and then click on the circle, right on the outside of the circle, of course. And our position from the left hand side should be 0.75 inches. So we'll just do the same like we did earlier. 0.75, enter, and then we'll do the bottom. So then of course we just click on the circle, click on our edge. That's also 0.75 inches from the bottom edge. So we'll type that in, hit enter, and then now our first circle is perfectly positioned. So now instead of cutting out each individual hole for from our technical drawing, instead we're going to find an easier way to do this, so a more quicker way. We're going to go above to linear sketch pattern, and on the left hand side we're going to see direction 1 heading. So the direction 1 heading, under that there's 3 columns. We'll start with our angle first, so the degree number. So that'll be the angle in which all of our circles are going to be set. So this will become more apparent once we just show the first example, since we don't got the technical drawing in front of us right now. We're going to set that at 60 degrees. Okay, now the number of circles, this is kind of like a triangle shape we're going for here. So we're going to do 5 circles, and then our spacing in between each circle is set at 0.75 inches, which is what it says on our technical drawing. Once again, we hit enter, we confirm with the green check mark above in the top left hand corner. And then now, instead of having 1 circle, we got 5 circles in probably about 1/5 of the time. Okay, so that's 5 circles now set out. Now we're going to go across to make the border basically for our triangle. So once again, we're going to our degrees, our angle. We're going to set it at 0 degrees because we're going straight across the x-axis. Then we're going to select 5 circles again. And once again, our spacing is 0.75 inches. As said on our technical drawing, we hit enter, we confirm it with the green check mark, and then boom, we got another 5 circles. So now we'll start from our inside here. We'll just do continuous 60-degree angles, and we'll just fill out our triangle. Much easier process, of course, than going to every single triangle and then cutting it out, spacing it from our left and right and our bottom edges, whatever way we want to approach it, we can just do it with this linear sketch pattern process. So, once again, 60 degrees, 4 circles, same spacing, 60 degrees again. There's 3 circles this time, and then the same spacing. And then once we get to that part, we'll move on to the final circle. Before we start our different row, basically, it's important to make sure we're clicking on the actual circle. So as you can see, the highlighted blue circle, I click, and then I go to linear sketch pattern. I don't just simply go into linear sketch pattern. It doesn't work for me. I have to click the circle from where I want to start and then go. So 60 degrees, we're just doing 2 more circles, and then that's it. This is complete now. So now we're going to go back to features. We are going to extrude cut is what we're going to do. So extrude cut. Now, the depth, according to our technical drawing, is set at 0.375 inches. So to the left-hand side, I'll type in 0.375. I'll hit enter, and then I will confirm it with the green check mark in the top left-hand corner. Once we do that, and I scroll, we'll see that our circles are perfectly cut out. So I showed you how to create a sketch. Now I want to show you how to delete a sketch. So if you make a mistake in SOLIDWORKS 2020, you can Control Z yourself out of the mistake. However, if you're what I like to call too far gone into a situation, like I'm going to do here on purpose, I can simply just delete this sketch altogether. So this means this particular circle I'm drawing right now in the top right hand corner, according to my technical drawing, I'm supposed to have a little pocket, a circular pocket for my game pieces to be held into. However, the way I position this circle is pretty poorly, where the outside edge is actually on the outside of my IQ tester, which makes it difficult to smart dimension. So I want to get rid of the circle before I go any further. So what I want to do, I'm just going to top left hand corner, and I'm going to exit sketch. So I'll go to the top left hand corner. Then I'm going to right click on sketch 3. That's the sketch of my circle. I'm going to hit delete, and then I'm just going to hit yes. There goes my sketch. Now I can just continue on what I was supposed to do. I go to sketch, I click the face that I want to draw on, I click my circle, I drag it out, then I type in the radius that I want it to be at, which is 0.75. Still not the greatest positioning for my circle, but it's now at least inside the IQ tester, but not that that matters. I will then smart dimension from the right edge, which is 1.25 inches away from the edge, and then I'll smart dimension from the top edge, which is once again 1.25 inches away. So it's just click on the edge, of course, click on the circle, then I'll click away, I'll type in my number, I'll hit enter, and now it's well positioned. I'll go back to features now so I can create the depth. I'll go to extruded cut, then I will go to my highlighted number. Now for the depth on this, we're not going all the way through, we're actually just going to 0.5. That's how deep we're going to go in my IQ tester. So I'll hit enter, and then I'll confirm it in the top left hand corner where the green check mark is. Once I click on that, I can just click in on my scroll button on my mouse. I can slide my mouse up and down to rotate the object and see that it worked just fine. So then once this is complete, we're just going to give it some material. We're going to go to the left hand side and then right click on material. We'll then click on edit material, as you can see where my mouse is to right now. Once I click that, it'll take a couple minutes to load once again, and then once that loads, we'll just select the material we want to use. So now that our materials tab is finally loaded, we're going to just scroll all the way down close to the bottom and select wood. Since our stock we're using is actually a wood, we're going ahead and select that. I'm going to click maple, because that's what's available in our shop, and we are going to just right click on apply, and then there we have it. We can exit out. I'm going to go to my view panel above, which is right here. Drop down tab. You can see all different views. I'm just going to click on the isometric view. And then there we have it. We can save that and then move on to Mastercam. So now we're going to take our image from SOLIDWORKS and move it over to Mastercam. So to do that, we're going to go to the top left hand corner where it says SOLIDWORKS, go to Tools, and then down to Mastercam Direct. Important not to have Mastercam 2022 open when we do this, okay? So just exit out if you have it open, and then we'll just load it up through this. So go to Mastercam, we'll select Mastercam under Mastercam Direct. This will take a couple minutes to load. Make sure these both boxes are checked as well, and then confirm. Okay, so our image is now uploaded in Mastercam 2022. We got a little bit of maintenance work to start off with. Make sure we select cancel. All right, let me see this. Just select cancel. And once we do that, we need to program this to our CNC machine in our own shop, and as well set our dimensions into inches. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to go to machine. Under that, we're going to go to router, to the drop down, and we're going to select our Larkin tool. We have both the Larkin router and the Techno router there under our router selection. This wasn't just there on its own. Before this, it was only the default selection, so we actually had to add these two routers to our library. So I'll pull aside here and just show you how to quickly do that before we go any further. So for this, we'd just go in our machine tab, and then our router drop-down menu, we would go to the manage list tab then. On the left side here, we would have our two routers, being the Larkin and Techno. However, we already got them added, so what we would normally do is just click on the two, hit add, and then they'll appear on the right side. Confirm it, and then we're all set. Okay, so now we got the Larkin selected. We are going to delete our default machine group. So just click machine group 1, and then hit the delete key, and now we are left with our Larkin router. Now we're going to go to File, Configuration, and then we're going to select inches. So we're in metric right now. We're going to go to inches, select OK, confirm it, select yes, and then we're going to right click, all right, to get this to scale. So we'll fit, and there we have it. So if you want to put it in top view, even though it already is, you just right click and then select top. Okay, so now we're going to go to properties, click the little plus sign on the side there, then we'll go to tool settings, we'll go to stock setup. Make sure we always got our display on. So on the left, our display box. We're going to set our origin on the very top left edge of our IQ tester. And then we're going to select all entities. Those numbers should look familiar to you. And then confirm it. So now everything is set up from the starter point of view. So now we can go ahead and program the CNC machine to actually make our cuts for our IQ tester. So now we're going to actually program our cuts. Very important that we program our cuts to go from the inside and work its way out. Our stock is going to be fastened by 4 screws in the CNC machine. If we cut from the outside and work its way out, the only thing that will be holding our stock is not our screws, but instead our tabs. So that'll become more apparent once we actually get this process up and going. We're going to select drill up in the top left hand corner, and we're going to select all of these circles. So all we're going to do there is we're going to click above, and then we're going to drag this box across all our small circles first. Our small circles all have a different depth than our bigger circles. So we're going to do that first. I actually didn't select all the circles. You can see all the green dots. Make sure we select all of our circles. And there we go. We got them all selected. We're going to go selected order now. So the yellow line represents our router and which way it cuts. We're going to select the most efficient cut we can make, which is this one in the top right hand corner. As you can see, this is a bit more efficient than going all over the place now. We'll confirm it with the green check mark, and then this will bring us right to toolpath type. Alright, so we want to make sure we're still in drill, which we are. And we're just going to work our way down. Right here, we're going to select our tool library. We need to make sure that we're using the 1/8 router. Okay, the 1/8 bit, sorry, 1/8 straight bit. We'll confirm that with that green check mark. And we'll move down the holder. We're good there. And right now, we're just checking to make sure we got everything covered. We're good there. And the only thing we really need to adjust now is our linking parameters. So we're going to go to our depth section. And where this number is here, we want to set this at negative 0.375 inches. Okay, so negative 0.375. We're doing this because that is the depth of these circles if we remember our technical drawing when we're doing our SolidWorks draw. So we're going to type that in, and we're also going to select absolute instead of incremental. Okay. Once that is done, we can check the last few columns, but all those are good. Now we can confirm it with our green check mark on the bottom. So that confirms everything for our middle circles, our smaller circles for our IQ tester. So now we're going to go to our bigger circle on the top right hand corner, which actually holds the pieces for the IQ tester. Okay, so to do that, if we look into the top left hand corner where we see 2D, all right, and we selected drill, So now this time, since we're doing a pocket, now we're going to select pocket. So we'll just scroll down with the arrow, click once, and then our pocket appears. Our selection method is right, and we got to click on our circle now. Make sure it's in the clockwise direction with the arrow. Once it is, we'll confirm it, and now we're back to toolpath type. So we're going to go down to tool, and we're going to select our 1/8 straight bit again. Once that's selected, we're going to go down to roughing. So roughing, we need to make sure that we are we're going to scroll over to the right. We're going to click the arrow over here and scroll over to true spiral. True spiral. Okay, since we are cutting a pocket, we're going to go to entry motion and turn that off. Now we're going to go into depth cuts. We want to turn that on. And our max rough step, we are going to change that to 1/16. All right, so half of what our router is. Okay, we'll move down to linking parameters. We're going to go down to depth again. All right, and we're going to change that this time to -0.5 because that's the depth, once again, of our pocket, just like our technical drawing said. We're in absolute now, and we can confirm that. Once that's confirmed, you can see our true spiral cut. So now we just got to cut out the outside. So we're going to go back up to contour this time. Selection method still good. Click on the outside. Make sure our green arrows in the clockwise direction. Sorry. We're going to go down to tool. Once again, select our 1/8 straight bit. Down to cutting parameters. We're good there. Depth cuts. We're going to turn that on. We are going to turn this on to, once again, half of the size of our router bit, which is 1/16. Lead in and lead out is good. So now we're going to go down to tabs and we're going to turn that on. Tabs is what actually holds our IQ tester within our stock after it gets cut through our CNC machine. So we'll turn on our vertical moves. We're going to go to tab thickness. We're going to set this at 0.125. Okay, so that's how thick our tabs are going to be. We'll select position. Now we're going to go to the left edge. Once you see these yellow lines, we'll click once, yellow lines appear again, and then click. Hit enter, and then that is confirmed. Okay, so that's how you do your tabs. Linking parameters, final step. So we'll go down to our depth once again. For our stock, what we're going to use, we're going to set this at -0.8. And then, of course, turn on our absolute. All right, and confirm it. We do have a sacrificial piece under our actual stock we're cutting for our IQ tester. So that'll be fine as long as we're cutting completely through our stock. And if we touch the sacrificial piece, that is perfectly okay. As long as we're not going too deep, of course. So now we're going to verify our cuts. Okay, so just between those two blue squares. First time normally don't work, that's why I exit out. Right click for our isometric view, hit the play button, and you can see if your cuts work. Obviously that was a little too fast, but this is how you preview and see if in the Mastercam simulator, see if your cuts actually work. Okay, so we'll hit play again. Clearly you can see we did every step right. All the yellow shows that our cuts are truly made. We'll select X, and now we'll get our G code. Okay, so make sure our NC file is on. We're on the Larkin router. We'll confirm it. Now we're just going to save our file under, I'll save my file under my actual folder. Make sure we're still in NC files, so .nc, and I will just name my IQ tester, whatever. So this file is what we use to actually communicate to our CNC machine how we're going to cut out our IQ tester. So we just transfer it over with a flash drive, and then we push it into the computer we use for the CNC machine, and then that's how we actually make our cuts. So now we're just waiting for a G-code to load. Normally it takes a couple minutes. Once again, we can see it just loaded on the very bottom there. So we can click on this now to see if our G-code is all good, and it is. We'll just save it to be sure. So just to double check and make sure that my G-code is completely saved, I'll go to my folder and then open up my SWB Fudge folder. That's where I hold all my SolidWorks, Mastercam stuff too. And if it should be just a little bit above here, IQ test G-code. So now we know it's completely saved. So that's exactly how you would set up this process of just building from SolidWorks, exporting to Mastercam 2022, and then saving our G-code. Next step would then just be get a flash drive, carry these folders, what we saved, over into the flash drive, then plug it in into the other computer, and then once we set that up and we start up our CNC machine, we can make these exact cuts that we designed and programmed throughout this entire video.